énorme d'une foule record. Jamais on n'a vu autant de monde au sommet du gravier. Polidor précède maintenant, va à Montes et en gagne.
Pantani si volta, adesso Santiago Botero ritorna vicino al suo compagno Roberto Heras. Pantani, Ulrich, Armstrong.
Écart, crevaison, faute, en tout cas, sans casque sous la chaleur aujourd'hui, Casartelli ne se relèvera pas.
The Tour de France, 21 days, 3,500 kilometers, and varied terrain. The Tour de France has been a huge advantage for companies in marketing, and has been an economic boost for France due to its prominence in society and culture. Millions line the streets to see the cyclist pass. However, as beautiful as it may seem, the Tour de France is a highly competitive and growing event, which has had historical moments, some dark and difficult. Although the Tour de France has ups and downs, it still remains one of the greatest sporting events of all time.
Il est premier au sommet, comme il sera premier à Lisard et premier à Briançon.
Race alone and Armstrong's gone.
A big move by Landstis and no reply coming at all from the Polti team as they come up towards the line. Nellison is taking, and they've gone! They've gone one after the other, they've hit the
pair of them with multiple cuts and fractures. Wilfred Nellison was never quite the same rider again.
The Tour de France was founded in 1903 by cycling journalist Gilles Lefebvre and his manager of the newspaper, L'Auto, Henri Desgranges. They wanted to create a cycling event that encompassed the beauty of France, as well as the hard, grueling aspect of the sport. Henri Desgranges claimed that his goal was to make the race so hard that only one man would be able to make it to the finish. The Tour's first winner was Frenchman Maurice Garin. Cyclists in the first Tour would often race from midday through the night for 19 days straight. The first Tour lasted from July 1st to 19th, 1903, and was a huge success. From there, the Tour de France started to pick up, although from 1914 to 1918, during the First World War, the Tour was stopped. After the return of the Tour de France in 1919, there was much modernization done to the equipment and different rules were put into effect. In 1933, the mountains classification was installed. It recognized riders who were skilled at climbing the steep roads of the Alps and Pyrenees. It worked by point system, where mountains were categorized by difficulty 1 through 5, and depending on the difficulty, a certain amount of points would be awarded to the first 15 riders to reach the summit. The general classification is the overall rank of the riders by their lowest aggregate time. The one who leads this classification leads the Tour de France and gets to wear the coveted yellow jersey. The Tour de France was stopped again from 1939 to 1947 due to World War II, but would come back with a new generation of cyclists and a new director, Jacques Godet. The Tour de France has now changed owners and belongs to L'Équipe, a French sporting newspaper. Since then, the Tour de France has really started to gain momentum. Multiple greats have risen from this time period, including Frenchman Jacques Anquetil and Belgian cyclist Eddy Merckx, who both won the Tour de France 5 times. In 1953, the green jersey best sprinter classification was a whole new category for those who are fast on the flats. It is set up the same way as the mountains classification, in that the first to certain checkpoints receive a certain amount of points. The idea of national teams started to bother some in the Tour de France. so they changed it back to trade teams. However, in the late 1960s, doping seemed to emerge with the death of Tom Simpson in 1967. From then on, the Tour de France cracked down on cyclists. Whether or not it stopped the riders from doping is the real question.
Aware of what is around him. He will be sensing the history of the place. You see the cobblestone road as he turns.
During the 1970s, the Tour de France was inspired by rider Eddy Merckx, otherwise known as the Cannibal. It was internationalized and brought many non-Europeans into the race. However, in the 1980s, the Tour de France exploded when French rider Bernard Hinault won the Tour de France 5 times. When the American rider Greg LeMond became the first non-European to win, it inspired a whole new generation of riders. Some of them by the names of Lance Armstrong and Miguel Indurain.
Greg LeMond for 41.52, so he's got about 17 seconds of breaking at the first check.
Rentre dans la vie des Français en sortant de la route en juin 77 sur le Dauphiné.
Sia che vinca che non vinca la tappa, voi non pensate che stia bluffando, è la verità. Perché abbiamo davanti ancora.
He's won 2 prologue time trials this year, and this one could be the one. He's right on the back wheel now of Luc Lebon.
Even though the 1990s were a dark era for cycling, due to the prominence of performance-enhancing drugs, which completely changed the sport. However, heroes such as Miguel Indurain, the first man to ever win 5 Tour de France's in a row, still emerged.
Le Tour de France et le Tour d'Italie. Le Tour d'Italie me correspond un peu mieux parce que la place à la montagne est beaucoup plus présente. Après, l'an passé, le Tour de France était sympa.
Physiquement, vous vous sentez plus fort qu'avant?
Pas plus fort. J'ai un peu des retours de sensations de 2011. Donc je pense qu'en 2011, je marchais beaucoup mieux. Après, je fais que 11 au général aussi, mais je pense que je marchais beaucoup mieux en 2011 parce que j'avais fait beaucoup de place dans les 10. Que là, à la sortie, j'ai fait une étape où je fais 10 et c'est tout, quoi.
Qu'est-ce qui vous manque?
Hubert qui est à ma gauche, qui termine donc deuxième du général. Aujourd'hui, c'était peut-être compliqué d'aller attaquer Quintana.
Oui, c'était un peu perdu d'avance. Il aurait fallu une course de mouvement ou qu'il ait un problème mécanique ou autre. Ça aurait été dommage pour lui, mais bon, non, l'équipe on a joué sur un autre pion, on s'est essayé de gagner l'étape, donc c'est chose faite.
Pas de regrets?
Des regrets, non, parce que j'ai été battu à la pédale, donc il n'y a pas de regrets.
Il revient à ma mémoire des souvenirs familiers. Je revois ma blouse noire lorsque j'étais écolier. Sur le chemin de l'école, je chantais à pleine voix des romances sans paroles, vieilles chansons d'autrefois. Douce France, cher pays de mon enfance, bercé de tendre insouciance, je t'ai gardé dans mon cœur. Mon village, au clocher, aux maisons sages, où les enfants de mon âge ont partagé mon bonheur.